In the third part of the tutorial, the reward and panel management sections are covered. In the reward section, there are two options: single TP with the R-bar ratio and multiple TP. In the single TP section with the R-bar ratio, you can specify the risk to reward ratio in the corresponding field, which is set to 2 by default. When you execute any trade with a risk to reward ratio of 1 to 2, your trades will be carried out accordingly. Here, by executing a buy trade, my risk is set to $1,000 and my reward is set to $2,000. By clicking on this section, I can change my reward amount. For example, I set it to 5, and depending on my trading system and trading plan, I can adjust this section. When I execute the trade, my risk level is $1,000, and with a R-bar ratio of 1 to 5, my take profit is calculated at $5,000, and my take profit level is set. In the next section, there is the multiple take profit option. By clicking on this part, the multiple take profit panel is activated for us, which has 4 different columns. The first column is for setting the take profit amount. In this panel, we can set multiple take profit levels for each trade. And by clicking on the plus option, the take profit levels are set for us. The second column relates to the percentage of the position to be closed at each take profit level, which by default is set to 20% of the trade volume. Here, we can change these values. For example, I set the 4th take profit level to 10% and the 5th take profit level to 10%. Here, the total volume of all my trades at different levels adds up to 80%. Here, I can add another 20% by adding a 6th take profit level, so another 20% of the trade volume is included, and the total of these levels becomes 100% of my trade volume. In the next section, there is the point column, where we can set the distance between the take profit level and the entry point. In this section, I set my risk amount based on 3,000 points, and I select my first take profit with an R-bar ratio of 1 to 1 at 3,000 points. Take profit 2 is set at 4,000 points, take profit 3 at 5,000 points, and take profit 4 at 5,500 points. And on the opposite side, in the 4th column, the expert advisor automatically calculates the profit amount for each level based on the percentage of volume exited from the trade and the distance between the take profit level and the entry point, and displays this amount for us in this column. Also, by clicking on this section, I can set my take profit level based on a dollar amount. Here, I can specify my amount in dollars, or set take profit 5 at $1,200 and take profit 6 at $1,500, and the expert advisor will automatically calculate the distance from the entry point to the take profit 5 and take profit 6 levels and select it for me. By executing the trade, my risk level is set at 3,000 points, and my reward amount is also set at a 3,000 point distance. On the right side, we can see the profit amount for each level, which is specified for us here. And on the left side, we can see the levels for each take profit tick: TP1, TP2, TP3, TP4, TP5, and TP6. The distance for each level is calculated and determined for us based on points. By clicking on the Closes option, the panel will close for us, and by clicking on the Open option, the panel will be displayed. Also, if we want to exit the multiple TP mode and switch to single TP mode, we can deactivate this option by clicking on this section again. And let's execute our trades using just one TP. The next section is related to the management panel, where options for break-even all, close last, visual, position management, and account protector are located here. Here, by executing several trades, if I want to close all my open trades with just one click, by selecting the Close All option, it will instantly close all trades for me. If I have executed a buy trade and a sell trade, by clicking on the Close Last option, I can close my trades one by one, in order, starting from the most recent trade I executed. By clicking on the Visual option, a visual level is displayed for me on the screen, which I can then use to carefully and thoroughly calculate my risk-to-reward ratio. The gray level represents my entry point, and on the left side you can see the entry price level for the trade. In the middle section, the trade entry volume, which can be adjusted based on this part of the panel. And on the right side, the risk-to-reward ratio is displayed. And by clicking on the level, I can move it and set my trade entry point. The red level serves as the stop-loss level, with the stop-loss price shown on the left side, and on the right side, my risk amount is calculated relative to the entry point and my trade entry volume, and is displayed here. I can easily move this level on the chart. And the green level serves as the take profit level, with the take profit price shown on the left side, and on the right side, it calculates and displays my profit amount if the price reaches this level. Here, we can see the risk-to-reward ratio. And by clicking again on the visual option, the levels will be deactivated for us. The next option is related to position management, and by clicking on this section, a management box will be displayed for us. And if we have executed trades, we can manage all executed trades in this panel. And in this section, we can view information such as the ticket, entry time, trade type, trade volume, trading symbol, entry price level, stop loss level, take profit level, comment, and finally the amount of profit or loss for the trade. On the right side, there are options for trailing stop, break even, partial close, and close for each trade. And by clicking on the close option, we can close our trades. By clicking on the partial close option, we can close 50% of our trade volume. In this trade, I entered with a volume of one lot, and by clicking on this section, it closes 50% of my trade volume, reducing it to half a lot. If I click on this option again, it will close another 50%. With each subsequent click, 0.12 lot, 0.06 lot, 0.03 lot. With another click, 0.01 lot. And finally, if it can't close any more volume, the last click will close the trade for us in this section. The next two options are related to break-even and trailing stop. Here, I enter another trading symbol. In this section, I executed a trade, and it has gone into profit. To use the break-even and trailing stop options, you must make sure that in the settings section, the virtual to PSL option is disabled, and your trades have been switched from expert mode to server mode. To use the break-even and trailing stop options, our trades must already be in profit, and the price must have moved beyond the stop level of the trading symbol in order for us to be able to use these two options. By clicking on the break-even option, my trades become risk-free and my stop-loss level moves to the entry point, allowing me to make my trade risk-free. Here you can see that my stop-loss level has been adjusted. Also, by clicking on section B at the entry point, I can use the break-even option and make my trade break-even and risk-free. The next option is related to the trailing stop. By clicking on this section, a panel will appear that includes two options: Trail Start and Trail Step. In the Trail Start option, I can specify the level at which the trailing stop will begin, and once the price reaches this number of points, my trailing stop will be activated. In the second section, which is Trail Step, I can set the distance between my stop loss and the price. For example, here I set the trail start distance to 100 points. This means that if the price moves to the 100-point level, the trailing stop will be activated for me in the profit zone. And here I set the distance between the stop loss and the price. In this case, I choose 500 points. That is, as the price moves up or down and approaches the take profit level, the stop loss remains at a fixed distance of 500 points. By clicking on this section, you can see that my stop loss level moves and is transferred to my profit zone, and the distance between my stop loss level and the price remains at 500 points. I can change this amount and choose a smaller distance, but I am not able to increase the distance. When I select the distance here based on 500 points, if I want it to move and shift downward to get closer to my entry point, this does not happen, and it does not move to 800 points. However, I can reduce the amount and decrease the distance between the stop loss level and the entry point. By adjusting the trailing stop amount, if the stop loss is moved, we see that it automatically enters our profit range and the trailing stop is executed for us. By clicking on this option, an account protection panel is displayed for us where we can set limits to protect our account. We will provide further explanations about this section in the following parts. Well, friends, we've reached the end of this part of the tutorial. We would be happy if you share your comments and suggestions with us in the comment section.